We've been telling young people, go to school, get educated, then you get a good job, you'll be empowered. But in most of our countries, the people who are living the best lives have no education. The people who are driving the best cars, no education. We have political cadres now occupying significant positions in government because they are loyal. Some of them are fantastically incompetent, but they are wonderful people. Unfortunately, wonderfulness does not cure the underdevelopment challenge. We have equated having things with being, so that those who have things are considered more human beings.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Sisi vile vile sio wote ambao wanataka ugomvi kwa sababu ya ugomvi.
Niwaambia nyinyi ni wajinga mkimpata Ruto. Mkadhani tunawadanganya.
Jeti ya Ruto. Hii maisha ya Ruto ni stress na ni stress.
Mungu wewe umetukosea.
Greetings to you. Thank you so much for making time to join us. This is Sound Candy Talk, open forum political discussion show. The show that gives you an opportunity to air what you feel and think about the latest development on our political front. Well, it is past midnight East African time, and it is that time that Kenyans have been afraid of as they anticipated the fuel crisis to get the government unprepared. Now, this is one of the things that really disturbs me about the kind of government that we have at the moment. It is like it enjoys operating from crisis to crisis, from crisis to crisis. If it is not drought, it is floods. If it's not floods, it is now fuel, of which they were fully in the picture on what will transpire if they don't attend to what is required in terms of what's going on in the Gulf when they have an arrangement for fuel from the very place where there is a crisis. And now what everybody feared has finally happened, and the cost of fuel has gone up by over 20 shillings. Now that is not what Kenyans were looking out for, and I think it is a disappointing reality that our government seems not to be aware of what can be done to mitigate what is happening around the world. We generally, I mean, everybody is aware that the world has become a global village, and therefore whatever happens in one side of the world will affect the other side. So I don't get it when we have a government in place that seems not to be aware that what goes on around the world will affect Kenya directly or indirectly. And so what we are treated to, in my opinion, is sheer incompetence and, of course, negligence. And probably I would call it abuse of office, or rather, I'll say a vested interest, because it appears that this government is doing business with the Kenyan people, and in the process, they would want to make a kill out of the crisis that the Kenyan people find themselves in, and that is what I think is at play right now, because the tycoons, those that are involved into this fuel import and export and operation to ensure that they can make maximum kill on the pump. They are the very people who are in support of the government. They are the very people who are in the government. And of course, for that, they are enjoying those favors at the expense of the long-suffering Kenyan people. And that is why I have a great concern about what is going on. And of course, I will urge Kenyans to think twice when they are talking about giving this government another term in office. If they did not behave well in the first term, there is no way they will change in the second term. And so if you really love this country and you want this country to make right progress in the interest of the majority of Kenyans, you must not be caught talking about giving another term to this regime that is neglecting the livelihood of the Kenyan people in obvious matters like this. This is unforgivable. And that's why I'm always, grateful that we should never have a crisis like the one we had with COVID-19, with this kind of a government. I am too sure with this kind of a government, the crisis will be dire as far as the Kenyan people are concerned. I've never seen a government operating like this, and that beats my understanding. William Ruto is not new in government. William Ruto has been part and parcel of government all along. If by now he doesn't know how government operates in terms of preempting crises and ensuring that there is mitigation when there is an issue before it happens, I don't think he will ever get it. I don't think he will ever get it. And so we all as a people must wake up and begin to ask right questions. What we are being pushed into by especially William Ruto himself is that he wants to be a student, he wants to be examined, and he also wants to be the examiner, and he also wants to be the marking scheme. That cannot work. Okay, you took a job, you want to operate as the president, you're given that opportunity. You should not come to us and tell us you have performed this, you have performed this. We are the people that hired you. And so how you perform is not you explaining to us, it is how we have experienced your leadership. And so let the Kenyan people make up their mind whether William Ruto deserves another term in office or not, but not William Ruto and his cronies coming to convince Kenyans that they have performed better than any president, they have performed better than any other regime, they have done this, they have done this, they have done this. Look at now where we find ourselves as a people. In my opinion, we are in a bad place, and all of it is man-made. And that's what makes it a whole troubling situation, that we find ourselves where we are, not by accident, not by, an act of God. We're finding ourselves where we are by people sitting on the table and arranging on how they can make a kill on the livelihood of the Kenyan people through their dubious business operations. And this needs to be brought to an end. The best way to bring it to an end is get me a better president, get me a better regime, get me a better parliament, get me a better judiciary, get me a better executive, and this country will be fixed. But continuing with this kind of leaders and, of course, giving them that, leeway for them to do as they wish, we are doomed as a people. I appreciate everybody who is joining us from wherever you are. Thank you so much. We are live on Facebook, Facebook page, Sound Candy Talk. YouTube channel Sound Candy Talk Live and Sound Candy Talk as well as TikTok. Thank you for those joining us on TikTok. Please let's keep inviting each other and of course participate in the conversation. We are looking at the fuel crisis and of course the disappointment of the Kenyan people by the way the government is operating. If you don't find any fault with what is going on with this administration, then I don't blame you. I blame your tutors for not handling you well while you are in school. All in all, let's get down to business. Let's listen out to this fuel crisis story. Then we'll be back to break it down and then of course move to the next story. And if you're joining us from wherever you are, please make sure that you use the link that I've just put in the comment section. It will lead you into the studio where you'll be able to speak out and you shall be heard. Thank you so much. Let's listen out to what
Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Commission has released the latest pump prices, and of course the retail price of diesel is now set at 206.84 cents per litre here in Nairobi, effective midnight. In the new pricing cycle, petrol will cost you at the pump price 206 shillings and 97 cents. NTV's Bano George Otieno now explains how we arrived at these prices. We don't have that, but of course, those are the latest numbers there on your screen. The rise of super petrol and diesel. Petrol rising by 20 shillings and 30 cents. Diesel rising by 4 shillings and 92 cents. And of course, kerosene also rising there. Those are the latest, numbers from the April monthly review. The prices taking effect from midnight tonight.
Okay, there you have it. Changes in the price of fuel at an alarming magnitude, which will eventually definitely affect every other aspect of the livelihood of the Kenyan people. Petrol going up with 20 shillings or 28 shillings, it will definitely affect the transport. It will affect the transportation of foodstuffs to the market, and therefore the prices of the foodstuff from the market will rise. The supermarket will be, I think they are busy reviewing their prices right now. And so the story will be different by daybreak. And all of this ought not to have taken place if only the government had a listening ear. One thing that is very terribly wrong with this administration is in their continued refusal to listen to any Kenyan who is not singing two-term, who is not assuring them that they have a chance to get a second term in office. It appears that they are so all-knowing that they need no counsel from anywhere, they need no advice from anywhere. And this, in my opinion, is the downside of this administration. If only they listen, if only, and we are not short of people that are experienced in handling, government affairs. We are not short of people who are meant to run the government rightly. If William Ruto did not know what to do, Uhuru Kenyatta is still alive, is former president. Where if he doesn't like Uhuru Kenyatta, there are a lot of people that worked with Uhuru Kenyatta that are now working with William Ruto. Why can't he utilize their experience, utilize their counsel in doing what should be done? When will this regime act in the interest of the people? I can't remember any day any action was taken by this administration in the interest of the people. Everything that is done with this regime is either protecting the dubious business people, or is protecting the regime, or protecting the elite. I've not seen any one action taken by this particular administration that seeks to safeguard the welfare of the majority of Kenyans. At least with Uhuru Kenyatta, we remember when the VAT was going up by 8%, and there was a public outcry. He stepped in and brought it back to 8% instead of it going to 16%. That was because of the public outcry. What is it that William Ruto has done in the interest of the Kenyan people in terms of when there is a looming hike in essential commodities, like it's going to happen by reason of these hiked prices for fuel? When will he take measures that will safeguard the ordinary Kenyan? What else is he waiting for? Now, I'm speaking this because there was this matter of fuel, and the Gulf War crisis has been on the mouths of Kenyans and, of course, concerned Kenyans for a while right now. And as we speak, there is already a crisis in the energy ministry, the PS, the CS, and of course the entire operatives of the structure of governance of the energy ministry is has been axed, or I mean the people there who are in charge of this fuel story have resigned, and of course others have a case to answer by reason of them ordering, or rather importing, oil through the channel that it is said that the president doesn't approve. And so whatever they were protecting, or rather anticipating, is now here with us, and we all need to learn to live with the same, which is a very sad reality, because a government does not operate like what William Ruto is running. A government operates on whatever foresight, and by that foresight, they are able to abort crisis. That there is a crisis, the fuel we have in reserve will not be sufficient, and therefore we make other arrangement to see to it that we have sufficient, so that Kenyans don't have to be subjected to high cost of living simply because the government did not prepare for what they saw coming. And that's why I'm so much appreciative of Ndindi Nyoro, the Kiharu member of parliament, who has been vocal on this matter for a long time, giving warning and giving suggestions on what should be done to mitigate the situation in the country. But it appears since he fell out with William Ruto, he's no longer advising William Ruto the way he appreciates to be advised. And so his warnings and his foresight into this matter has not been attended to, and of course I believe that is why we are where we are. Let's just listen out to what Ndindi Nyoro has said on this, And of course, I believe you will see some sense into this, which, in my opinion, ought not to be the case. We need to have a proactive government. We need to have a government that anticipates an issue and solves it so that it does not hit Kenyans.
The government has said all the time since 14th of last month. But now they are helter-skelter in the last day. They are still consulting up to the last day about how to set fuel prices in Kenya. That the people in government have all the time to be on top of vehicles campaigning when other governments and other countries are being prudent enough to address the issue of fuel prices in a manner that is humane. Our government has not found any urgency, and today being the last day, they are still consulting. That is truly disappointing. And it is very insensitive that up to the 14th, they are waiting for stations waanze kusoma taarifa leo ya saa moja. A few minutes before that time ndio watume ujumbe. Hii si mambo ya kutuma ujumbe na karatasi. This is a matter that befitted the entire government to talk to Kenyans about what is happening. Na kabla waambia wa Kenya maneno yoyote kuhusu mambo ya Iran, the government must also take responsibility that they have a 50% chance on influencing fuel prices in the pump. Because the pump prices that Kenyans pay, 50% are made up of taxes and levies. And therefore, Kenyans will not accept, and let me underline here. And let me start by saying this. The stability of Kenya from today is in the heart of the decision that the government is currently consulting to communicating to Kenyans. And Kenyans will not accept anything, any sentence with the name Iran inside there as a scapegoat. Before the government communicates how much subsidy have they provided to the Kenyan people, secondly, they must reduce VAT on fuel products. And number three, the minister in charge of transport must give a gazette notice immediately on lowering and reducing the fuel levy. Kwa hivyo nyinyi watu ambao mko serikali, sisi tunawapea mawaidha free. Mchukue, msipochukua, hata msipochukua leo, wiki haitaisha kama hamujafanya kile Wakenya wanasema. Ya kwamba msiambie Wakenya tu story ya Iran kabla hamujapeana subsidy, kabla kodi ya VAT ya mafuta haijapelekwa chini ama kuondolewa kabisa, na kabla waziri wa transport haja reduce fuel levy. Tafadhali mchukue ujumbe haraka haraka, na kwa sababu muna consult, ni vizuri mjue Wakenya wamesema hivyo. Mkiconsult nyinyi watu wa serikali mkiwa na suti kwa maofisi, mjue consultation ya Wakenya inaendelea. Na consultation ya Wakenya ni kwamba msituambie mambo ya kuongeza mafuta bei kabla hamujaweka subsidy, na kama hamujaondoa kodi ya mafuta ya VAT, na kama hamujateremsha fuel levy. The government has said all the time since 14th of last month. But now they are helter-skelter in the last day. They are still consulting up to the last day about how to set fuel prices in Kenya. That the people in government have all the time to be on top of vehicles campaigning when other governments and other countries are being prudent enough to address the issue of fuel prices in a manner that is humane. Our government has not found any urgency, and today being the last day, they are still consulting.
sorry, the YouTubers, I think we missed the, wow. Sorry about that. There was no audio going out on Facebook and otherwise. But this is what we all need to appreciate, that at the end of the day, we need a better administration that is able to take care of us and, of course, able to help every one of us to flow. Okay, so asante sana Innocent. I noted that. Thank you so much. Naomba hivi tumakinike. Now, tusikilize huyu senator wa Kisii akiweka mambo wazi kulingana na vile mambo yalivyo. Sababu za Kenya kutoweza kutimiza majukumu yake haswa kwa Mkenya wa kawaida haieleweki kabisa, kwa sababu nilikuwa nimesema kuhusu COVID-19 na vile Uhuru Kenyatta na baraza lake la mawaziri walishughulikia hilo swala. Mojawapo ambayo ilisababisha kwamba bei ya vyakula na vitu muhimu vizipande ni kwamba Uhuru Kenyatta na baraza lake la mawaziri walikubaliana kwamba taxes zingine ambazo serikali ilikuwa inachukua kwa fuel, ilikuwa inachukua kwa VAT na hiyo mambo mengine ikatwe nusu, ili Wakenya wasipandishiwe bei ya vyakula na vitu muhimu. Lakini hii serikali ya Ruto haitaki hivyo. Okay? Wamekubaliana kwamba wataongeza bei ya mafuta kwa shilingi 28. Now, that is too much. That's too much. It's going to affect everything. Why is it to have an administration that is insensitive and doesn't want to do what serves the good or gives a relief to the majority of Kenyans? Why are we so obsessed with making money and making a kill out of every deal to an extent that we don't care about those going to bed without food and those who are not able to educate their children, those who are not able to take care of their sick? And we are proud of the same. Why is that the case? And from the information by Onyonga here, it's not that there is not enough money. There is enough money to take care of every Kenyan, but that money ends up in wrong hands by those that are greedy and don't want to make what the Constitution guarantees every Kenyan available to Kenyans. Let's listen to this and, of course, get back to break it down. Thank you.
The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, you go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goddamn budget is. Just manage it, don't steal it. A few people are stealing too much. These kids out here, they know everything. They know your houses. They know where your kids go to school. They know which properties of land you have. Why must somebody have 4 million acres of land to his name? What happened to our mentality? Then we pretend and run to churches talking about Christianity, how Jesus... Do you understand what you are dealing with? The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, you go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goddamn budget is. Just manage it, don't steal it. A few people are stealing too much. These kids out here, they know everything. They know your houses. They know where your kids go to school. They know which properties of land you have. Why must somebody have 4 million acres of land to his name? What happened to our mentality? Then we pretend and run to churches talking about Christianity, how Jesus... Do you understand what you are dealing with? The revenue we collect is enough to run 8 African countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania. You go to Congo, You go to South Sudan, you go to Somalia, and you go to Ethiopia. That's what our goddamn budget is. Just manage it, don't steal it. A few people are stealing too much. These kids out here, they know everything. They know your houses. They know where your kids go to school. They know which properties of land you have. Why must somebody have 4 million acres of land to his name? What happened to our mentality? Then we pretend and run to churches talking about Christianity.
Okay, there you have it. Senator Wakisi huyo anasema kwamba hiki kinachoendelea akifai kabisa, na kubaliana naye mara mia, na kubaliana naye kabisa. Ukiangalia vizuri nchi hii na rasilimali zilizoko katika nchi hii, hakuna vile unaweza ku justify mambo ambayo Wakenya wanapitia. Okay? Hakuna vile unaweza kujustify yale mambo Wakenya wanapitia. Kwa sababu kwangu mimi ukiangalia tu vizuri unaona kwamba serikali imefanya nini? What is the Swahili word? Imetelekeza majukumu yake kwa wananchi. It has neglected its responsibility or put aside its responsibility as far as the ordinary Kenyan is concerned. And if you look closely on how the government operates and how the government thinks, it appears that government is an enterprise and people get into government to make deals and make money and of course use public resources for personal, private, gain. And so this is what has gone wrong with government. When we were growing up, there was this aspect of government of Kenya, and you could feel the government everywhere in whatever village you come from. The presence of the government meant low prices. The presence of the government meant secure quality education. Okay, government hospitals were preferred over private hospitals, and of course the medicine in the public hospital was more reliable than the ones being given by private hospitals. And the government and the presence of the government was an advantage. And that's why you remember there was this now attitude of mushrooming districts. Those who grew up in the Moi days and Kibaki days, you will hear that, this particular section is demanding a district. This particular section is demanding a district. And the reason they were asking for those districts is because they wanted the government to be near. And they knew if the government is near, there will be a hospital, there will be a school, there will be roads, development, and all that. But today, it makes no difference. You have the sub-county and the county itself and the governor and the MCS, but life is not ticking. Life is not improving. Why is that the case? Government has been turned from a service to an enterprise. And until we fix that, this country cannot be free. And that is why I want to call on you as a concerned Kenyan. Stop playing games with the right to vote and make your vote count. As we get set to go and vote, make sure you don't vote for thieves. Don't vote for looters. Don't vote for irresponsible, arrogant, ignorant people. Pick on leaders who have laid down their lives for the welfare of the majority of Kenyans. Every self-seeking, selfish, ambitious, hungry for money, hungry for anything that lies to steal should be kept out of public office. And that begins by you making up your mind that, number one, you will not be bribed. Two, you will not be bought. And of course, you will love this country more than you love yourself. You will love this country more than you love your prosperity. As long as that is in place, you're going to make a right decision at the ballot. And we pray and believe that at the end of the day, we must end up with a government that is pro-people, a government that safeguards the welfare of the majority of the Kenyan people. Everything else is immaterial if we are not taking care of our people. There is this, of course, the difference between a kingdom and how do we call it? And a democracy, okay? A democracy is the reign of the people, by the people, for the people, okay? But in the kingdom, it is the king who is the ultimate. And the king being the ultimate means that he is the authority, and being the authority, he is proud of the kind of people he is leading. In other words, when a king is a king and the people are poor, the people are poorly dressed, the people are hardly making it, is an embarrassment to the king. It is an embarrassment to the king. And so he will do anything to see to it that he improves the living standards of his people, because this kind of life they are leading is a picture of the kind of king he is. But it appears here, the poorer the people, the more proud the president is, the more proud the leaders are. I don't understand why. Because no father is going to be happy that his children are beggars. No father is going to be getting an award for neglecting his children. And I don't see somebody being president, governor, being senator, being member of parliament beyond the aspect of how you handle your family. So just like you'll be ashamed when your children are begging on the street, just like you'll be ashamed when your wife is begging, okay, in order to put food on the table, just the same way it will affect you. It needs to affect you as a president when the majority of the people you are leading are living below poverty line. That's my point. And so this public service, this public office is not supposed to be for people to use it for their personal gain. It's supposed to be a place where you're going to sacrifice your time, your energy, your wisdom, your understanding to improve the living standards of the people. And so public office is not for everybody. And that's why everybody who doesn't have a heart for the majority of the people, for the welfare of the people, should keep away from public office. And so if the president is happy that Kenyans are going to pay extra 20 shillings on the pump of fuel, then he's the wrong man in that office. If we saw the price is going to hike to that level and did nothing about it, he's not the man for that office. If we saw that the people are, remember his maxim was bottom up, okay? Bottom up, and my interpretation of bottom up is how many people moved from Madare to Kileleshwa, how many people moved from Kibra to Karen, how many people moved from Kayole to Kitusuri. Okay, that's a proof of how bottom up has worked. But if we're having people moving from Kileleshwa to Kayole, moving from Mudaiga to Madare, moving from Karen to Kibra, and then the bottom up thing has not worked. And that is why we are raising questions. Is the Ruto administration keen on ensuring that this country is moving forward, or they just want to look busy, doing something when actually nothing is taking place? Look at the kind of projects they have undertaken in the name of affordable housing. I mean, Can you imagine if the money being pumped into affordable housing was used to put up at least one industry in each county? Just one industry in each county will have gainful employment to majority of the Kenyan people, and the level of poverty will drop just by one industry in Mombasa, one industry in Marsabit, one industry in Garissa, one industry in Kisii, one industry in Nyamira, one industry in Homa Bay, one industry in... Just by ensuring that those industries are working, Kenyans will work and earn and be able to do what? Be able to take care of their own housing, take care of their own family affairs. But look at what is happening. Taking money from the Kenyan people and pumping it into concrete and cement. Okay? And when the money enters the concrete and the cement, that is it. You say you're creating employment. Employment for 6 months, employment for 1 year. That's not creating employment. It's creating a crisis. Because when now affordable housing is over and I don't have a job, how do you want me to sustain myself? And so what's cooking with the Ruto administration? It's clear that Ruto administration is anti-people, is anti the welfare of the people. It is for generating poverty, multiplying poverty, and creating more people who cannot depend on themselves. It is clear with every person who has a seeing eye that William Ruto wants to be worshipped, William Ruto wants to be begged, William Ruto wants to be praised, William Ruto wants to be, called upon for anything to take place. That is not what 2010 Constitution spells out on the kind of life Kenyans are supposed to lead. Far from it. I watched a member of parliament, I think in Nyamira or wherever Ruto is having a tour in Kisii County and Nyamira. And so these people take up the podium and say, President, we want a bus for this school. And the President, we want this road to be finished. And President, we want a bridge here. President, we want this and this. And I find it difficult to believe that this is a member of parliament, okay, who knows that distributing money through the president office to any project is an illegality. It is an illegality. Yes. And so if the people who are legislating, okay, who are supposed to ensure that the constitution is adhered to, are the ones violating the constitution in broad daylight by engaging somebody who doesn't have his own money for any development agenda. Every money allocation according to the 2010 Constitution for any development anywhere must be done by parliament. And so if the parliament is asking the president for the road, asking the president for the bridge, asking the president for the bus, then you know, dunia imepasuka. Hivyo tu. Now, dunia imepasuka, hapa hakuna. So wale ambao wanapaswa kutetea katiba ndio wanavunja katiba. Wale ambao wanapaswa kulinda sheria ndio wanavunja sheria. Na hii ni kuonyesha vile William Ruto amesucceed kuhadaa kila mtu mpaka wabunge. Mpaka hawataki kuona katiba. Kile wanataka kuona tu ni kile rais anataka. Kile rais amesema. Kile rais amependekeza. Rais sio sheria. Rais hayuko juu ya sheria. Na baada ya William Ruto kutakuja rais mwingine. So kama ulikuwa unategemea Ruto kujenga barabara, unategemea Ruto kujenga daraja, baada ya Ruto kutakuwaje? So kuna watu ambao wamejitolea kuharibu katiba hii na wanataka kuibadilisha ikuwe karatasi ambayo haina makali yoyote na kuivunja haina consequences zozote. And for that, it is a sad state of affairs. I want to call us to order. Let us stick within the provision of our constitution, especially in our agitation for better leadership. And of course, let us do what must be done to safeguard whatever it is that the constitution has made available. Allowing William Ruto to turn this constitution into an empty, a toothless piece of paper is giving him leeway to be a lifetime president. That is what I want you to understand. If this constitution doesn't have consequences when you violate it, then William Ruto will throw it in the dustbin. Give him a second term and see what will happen. Our constitution is going to be a piece of paper. We are going to be treated like what's going on in our neighboring countries, where there is a constitution, there is a judiciary, there is wherever the parliament, but all of them, none of them means anything. The presidential order is law. No, we moved away from it. We are not going back to it. And so, Kenyans of goodwill, let's stick our neck out. Let's reject the bad administration and of course seek a better one. Let's seek better leadership. And so I want you in this meantime to begin to think, tuache mchezo. Let's begin to think differently. Think differently, act soberly when it comes to determining who will be an MCA, who will be a MCA, who will be a member of parliament, who will be a senator, women rape, your governor and your president. Please, please, I beg you, think twice. Think twice. Usikubali kubebwa ujinga. Ukachukua mamlaka, ukapeana kwa mtu ambaye hafai. Tuko mahali tupo kwa sababu mamlaka yalipeanwa kwa wale watu hawafai. Angalia vile bunge inafanya kazi. Hiyo sio bunge. Lile bunge ambalo nilikuwa wakati nilikuwa mtoto nakuwa natamani kuwa sehemu ya hiyo bunge. Ilikuwa bunge ambayo ilikuwa natingiza serikali. Ikifika kupeleka mswada wa serikali, kuhakikisha kwamba huu mswada unapita, president na cabinet yake walikuwa wanatetemeka, kwa sababu katika hiyo bunge kuna watu ambao hawanunuliwi, hawaambiliki, na kama swala lolote linapeanwa ambalo halifai kwa wananchi, walikuwa wanasimama na kulipinga. Saa hii ni nini? Tumekuwa na bunge ambayo ni rubber stamp. Ulisikia Ruto akisema kwamba kama broad based imepitisha, basi bunge imepitisha. That is not the parliament we want. That's not the parliament that the constitution provides for. William Ruto and his team need to come to parliament and prove to the parliament on how whatever they are proposing is good for the Kenyan people. And he needs to have a hard time convincing those members of parliament. But this one, he wants to come and bring rubber stamp and then it passes, then it goes. That's not parliament. That's not parliament. So, reduce parliament kuwa ni rubber stamp ya chief, ambaye anatembea naye kwa kibegi, akikuta anakupigia hapa unatoa pesa harambee, anakupigia hapa unatoa pesa harambee. Hiyo sio parliament. So, kutuka mahali ulipo, simama imara, kataa kubeba ujinga. Nchi hii lazima ikombolewe, na ikombolewe kutokana na uongozi mbaya. Na yote ambayo tumesema tangu kipindi kianze ni wazi kwamba uongozi tulionao ni mbaya. Uongozi tulionao ni mbaya. Kama mafuta yanapanda na shilingi 20 kwa siku moja, kuna kitu makosa. We kimbia tu kiimba nyimbo, lakini kuna kitu makosa. So kesho enda supermarket, utaona sukari imepanda na shilingi hizo 30. Fare ya kwenda town na kurudi itakuwa imepanda. Viazi sokoni zitakuwa zimepanda, nyanya, kila kitu. na unaendelea kuimba two term, two term, two term, two term. Wakati umefika kila mmoja wetu awajibike, haswa kwa swala la nani tunayempatia mamlaka ya kutuongoza. Ningependa kushukuru kila mmoja tunapoendelea na kipindi. Naomba tu tafadhali like video kama uja like. Like hapa naona zinapanda polepole kwa TikTok. Tafadhali fanya hivyo. Tunatumia I hope you are able to get me the TikTokers. Ebu confirm. Picha sio safi sana lakini naamini unanipata. Naomba tu tafadhali hakikisha unatekeleza wajibu wako kama ilivyo desturi, na hakikisha kwamba unakuwa Mkenya ambaye unatetea nchi yako kwa uwazi na kwa haki ya ile ambayo inafaa. Now to conclude, I want us to revisit again the issue of goons, and there is this video I ran into somebody explaining on what the goons are in Nyanza specifically. And so I want us to listen out to this video and then of course come back and address it and probably call it a day from there. Nilikuwa nimemwona Jakindu Base, sijui amefungiwa wapi. Nashukuru. Naomba tafadhali tumakinike. Let's listen out to this.
I am from Kisumu County. I am from Nyanza. I can tell you the upsurge of these goons today is more in Nyanza than anywhere else. Why? Because the political leaders of Luoland now compete for these goons. I saw other goons with the senator of Kisumu. The senator of Kisumu is, for heaven's sake, a law professor. For all good order, he is a law professor, Professor Tom Ojenda. He is a law professor. How can he retain criminals in his staff? How can he take photos with criminals? And I hear he wants to be governor. To govern with criminals. So the point is, the leaders in Luoland now are competing, and they cannot be called to order because the person who would be overseeing the Regional Security and Intelligence Committee as their immediate supervisor competes with these PSs in running around with goons. I am from Kisumu County. I am from Nyanza. I can tell you the upsurge of these goons today is more in Nyanza than anywhere else. Why? Because the political leaders of Luoland now compete for these goons. I saw other goons with the senator of Kisumu. The senator of Kisumu is, for heaven's sake, a law professor. For all good order, he is a law professor, Professor Tom Ojenda. He is a law professor. How can he retain criminals in his staff? How can he take photos with criminals? And I hear he wants to be governor. To govern with criminals. So the point is, the leaders in Luoland now are competing, and they cannot be called to order because the person who would be overseeing the Regional Security and Intelligence Committee as their immediate supervisor competes with.
Okay, there you have it from the horse's mouth. That is somebody from Kisumu, and is giving us the picture of the resurgence of goons in Nyanza. And he says the goons are not, raising themselves. They are not, finding relevance on their own. The people giving goons relevance and courage to be able to do what they are doing is the Nyanza political class. And that is a very sad reality. That's a very sad reality. We as a people need to move away from this primitive way of dealing with things and be able to handle our affairs within the framework of the provision of our constitution. And even if constitution put aside, let's be humane enough to value human life and respect everyone, and of course keep our ranks in our operation. As a maxim that goes, or a proverb that says, a little courtesy will not hurt. A little courtesy will not hurt. You don't lose anything by respecting somebody's space and respecting people, especially in leadership. And then, of course, I don't have to lose for you to gain. I don't have to lose for you to gain. There is enough in this world for everybody. And so don't build your success on my failure. Don't build your success on my failure. You don't have to rob me in order to get anything. You just need to align with the universe, align with the purpose that God has for you. And in your purpose is everything you need for your livelihood. And so this aspect of, public figures surrounding themselves with goons and driving their relevance by who has the best goons, who has the worst, it should not be arising in the first place. And so as a country, we are in a bad position. We are in a bad place. And all of it is self-inflicted. It's self-inflicted. Listening to this guy, you see clearly that the people sponsoring the goons, the people hiring the goons, and the people who are making goonism lucrative are the political leaders. And what I don't understand is how you can create a problem without a solution. I mean, there's no car that leaves the factory without brakes. By the time you hire goons from the east, goons on the west, goons in this side, do you have brakes for those goons? When you now fall out with those goons, do you have protection against them? Or you remember the police after you have fallen out with the goons? Let's not create problems we are not able to solve. And of course, there is no need of you solving a problem. Creating a problem. A leader is supposed to be a solution provider, not a problem creator. And so if there is insecurity lapses, let's hold the people responsible to account. Let's look on how we can revamp and, of course, polish our police service so that it's able to provide security for everybody, other than you creating another avenue of so-called security that will eventually spill in the street and become a menace against the livelihood of innocent Kenyans. And so any political leader, any public leader who is encouraging the goons and funding the goons and building up the goons, he should be ashamed of himself. He does not deserve to be in that office. He does not deserve to be in that office at all, at all. So let's think outside the box. Let's think outside. One thing I find very annoying is on how people fight so hard to get into public office only to mess up things. Look on how William Ruto has fought tooth and nail to become president. But after he became president, look at the country. Look at the Kenyan people. Look at the poverty levels. Look at the displaced people. Look at the failed the teachers are running away from SHA. Nurses are running away from SHA. And I mean, what is going on? So we fight so hard to get into public office only to loot. Is that the only gain that we bring into public office? And so this is a very sad reality that it's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. Keep away from public office if you don't have public interest at heart. And if you're working hard to get into public office so that you loot from Kenyans and make Kenyans poorer than you found them, may the judgment of God collect you in good time. Let the judgment of God collect you in good time. We need our country back. We need Kenya to be for all Kenyans. And we need Kenya to take care of Kenyans. Not Kenya to take care of a few greedy people at the expense of the majority of our people. No. No. We need members of parliament who can do away with their salary for the welfare of Kenyan people. We need political leaders who are willing to lay down their lives for the welfare of this country. These greedy hyenas need to be drained out of the system. And so, get your voter's card, get set, and think twice before you empower people who want to come and feed on your blood. It is time for this country to recover from the fall. And so I want to speak to Nyanza leaders. Nyanza has been on the forefront of the quest for justice in this country. If there is a region or a community that has paid the highest price for the progress of this country, then that community should be from Nyanza. And it has always been taken and assumed that the best brains are from Nyanza. The sad reality is you're making us think again about it. Yes, you're making us begin to change our mind about it. When we were in high school or college, and we were looking for somebody to be a student representative or somebody to speak to the administration, majority of the people will insist they want Aluo to be the one leading the way to speak to the administration on behalf of the students. And the reason was that we believed that laws cannot be bought. Laws cannot betray the interest of the students. But what we are being treated through right now is making us doubt whether the notions we carried and the beliefs we had are true. So if the best brains are from Kisumu, the best brains are from Siaya, the best brains are from Migori, Homa Bay, look at what's going on in your region. Is that best brains? The region that has produced a president for the United States, it is now behaving primitive, carrying rungus, attacking people, and you are looking at yourself and thinking that you are progressing. No. And so, Professor Nyang'nyong, call your county to order. Of course, working constitution, Orengo, it is time to call the region to order. Migori governor, Homa Bay governor, please, we want to see sanity. The sanity that has been prevailing in Nyanza needs to come back. Don't multiply the madness. We have enough madness in this country. We don't want another one to add to it. And so, my message to you is call your house like the message of Isaiah to Hezekiah. Set your house in order. Nyanza need to be set in order. What is going on is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. So let that goons thing be arrested in good time. And then all the people fueling it should cease. And then, of course, Raymond has been mentioned too many places, in too many circumstances. Even if he's innocent, he needs to go. He needs to go. He needs to go. And so Ruto, Murkomen, and team needs to do something about the same. Otherwise, I really want to appreciate everybody that is part of this great conversation. I really want us to, you know, call things for what they are and not pretend around. Okay? So, Nyanza people, you are disappointing us. You're disappointing us, and your sycophants is irritating. Your sycophants is undoing everything you have died for, everything your brothers died for, everything your fathers fought for. Stop it. Like the Bible says, find where you fell and repent and get back to where you're supposed to go. Stop continuing in the way you're going, because it's going to land you into the place of no return. We want you back in the struggle, and we want the struggle to deliver Kenya completely. Not one region, not one bridge, not one road, not one hospital, not one bus. We want the entirety of this country to be free from the east through the west, from the north through the south, so that a Kenyan child from anywhere in any corner of this country can be guaranteed of education, quality education, guaranteed of quality health care, guaranteed of a great future. Not these games of Nyota here, or women empowerment here, youth empowerment here, contribution for this here, and there. That madness, the people doing it should be arrested. Yes, that is not how to develop a country. By contribution, by distribution, that's not how to develop a country. A country is developed by deploying its resources. Deploying its resources. And the greatest resource we have is called human resource. Yes, human resource. Mr. President and your team, you preside over graduations. How many people graduate in a year? When they graduate, where do they go? Where do they go to work? Where do they go to practice what you tell them you have given them powers to read and write? Where do they go to read and write? That is what the government is supposed to make available. So you are happy wearing the gown and looking serious, calling yourself doctor, and of course presiding over graduation to release the people in the street. To release the graduates in the street. Is that what you're doing? And then you come and say, oh, the problems have been long, other administration did not do anything, of which you have been part of. Is there any time William Ruto wasn't in government? From 1992, when he joined politics. So which administration failed where? Which you have not been part of. In short, we need a working government that wants to fix this country completely, not distribute goodies. And those members of parliament violating the constitution by asking the president for bridge, for bus, for road, and all that. Let the madness stop. Let the madness stop. And you as an elite or what do we call you? An informed voter, vote them out. Vote them out. Because nobody's going to mess up this constitution and it's left. Just like that. No. So I want to thank you so much for being part of the great conversation on Sound Candid Talk. I believe you have learned one or two things. But as you go to the fuel pump and get high prices, get set for protest, get set for demos, get set to shake the Ruto administration to the core. He cannot run this country like a village. He cannot run this country like a kiosk. It is time to return to the rule of law and everything to be determined in accordance to what responsible government do. Thank you, everybody. I must sign out now. But we'll be here every day talking. So please Make sure that you are a subscriber to Sound Candy Talk. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Facebook. And then, of course, on X, it was SCT News 101. And, of course, we are here to see to it that every Kenyan is informed and is armed and dangerous as far as fixing this country is concerned. So stay tuned and, of course, share the video widely to get more people to get more information from what has gone down in the show. It is always a great honor and, of course, a great privilege to come to your space and be able to raise one or two things concerning the state of our country. But more than that, please don't allow yourself to be used to do evil in this country. Be the solution, not the problem. Be the answer, not the question. Stop the evil. Don't let it thrive in your presence. I want to pray that God will keep you and preserve you, even as we look forward to meeting again in the next program. It is important that you ensure that doing the right thing is the only thing that can make this country right. No amount of corruption can help this country. No amount of deception can help this country. No amount of irresponsibility can help this country. We need responsible leaders who are willing to lay down their lives for the welfare of this country. Those leaders are among us. Those leaders are our brothers. Those leaders are our sisters. Let us give this country what it deserves, not these leftovers that are out to finish whatever that's left of this great country. God bless you. Tukutane tutakapokutana. Niite Bernard.